When you appreciate what you do have, you create more of what you want.
That effortless action, that just sort of allowing, oh, I was thinking about that and it just showed up. That's how life is supposed to be.
Abundance begins by feeling abundant.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. I believe in you, and this channel is designed to be a part of your daily success routine. So let's get your motivation to a 10 and get you believing in you. Grab a snack and chew on today's lessons from a woman who went from being a PR party girl to becoming a New York Times bestselling author, speaker, and spirit junkie. She's Gabrielle Bernstein, and here's my take on her top 10 rules of success, volume 2. Okay, let's kick it up with rule number 1. Appreciate what you do have.
If you're in that job where you're feeling like this isn't working for me, I'm not into it, I'm mad about it, I get upset every time I walk into the office. The thing that you're missing here is that, and she's looking at me, she's like, what's she gonna say? I need to know. Give it to me, Gaby, give it to me. The thing that you're missing is that when you appreciate what you do have, you create more of what you want. Appreciating even the job that isn't the one that you want forever actually helps you attract the next career path. And you think it's counterintuitive because you're thinking, well, I don't want to appreciate this thing I don't want. That's sending out a message to the universe that I want something I don't want. Actually, no. The more you appreciate what's in front of you, the more you become a magnet for what it is that you desire. So if you appreciate that job that's not that great, and you bring an energy that's a little bit more of a high vibe frequency, and you show up to work and you've got a better attitude, and people start to like you a little bit more because you're in that appreciation of whatever's around you, and they start to see you a little bit differently, and then maybe they give you a raise, or maybe they see some potential in you, or maybe one day you're just in a really good mood because you've been appreciating everybody and you're not mad anymore, you're not complaining on your Instagram about how you hate your job, and you're walking through the office and you're in a really good mood and you get in the elevator and you bump into somebody and they say, oh, what do you do? And you say, I'm a copy editor at this company and blah, blah, blah. And they say, oh, how interesting. We've been looking for a copy editor. Because it's your energy and your appreciation that creates that opportunity. So the more that you're in an energy of lack or fear or negativity, the more likely you are to deflect the creative possibilities in your life. The more you are to deflect the new opportunities, and the less fun you have, you know what I mean? Like, the key to attracting what you want, people, is to have fun. Straight up, have fun.
Rule number 2, manifest what you want.
So for our audience, can you define what exactly is manifesting?
Manifesting is acquiring the experience of what it is that you want to feel, and being and living and believing in that experience, and then allowing that experience to come into form. Manifesting is very creative. It is the process of using your power energy and being in that presence of your high-powered energy and allowing that energy to co-create with the energy that's around you. So you're vibrating at a high frequency. I'm vibrating at a high frequency.
Girl.
We've done a lot of work. We've cleaned up a lot of our own crap. We believe in ourselves today. And that energy of believing in ourselves has attracted us together today and brought us into this space where we together are co-creating and teaching. If I hadn't cleaned up my side of the street, and if I didn't believe in myself the way I do, I would never have manifested being on Marie TV. There's a really nice line from A Course in Miracles, which is the metaphysical text I teach, and it is, miracles occur naturally, and when they're not occurring, something has gone wrong.
That's interesting.
It's a good one, right? So what happens is that synchronicity, that flow, that effortless action, that just sort of allowing, oh, I was thinking about that and it just showed up. That's how life is supposed to be. We get in the way. Our negative belief systems, our fears, our anxiety, our anger towards the past, that future tripping and projecting, all of that energy gets in the way of allowing all of the miracles to occur naturally.
Rule number 3, change your perspective.
The third step, obstacles are detours in the right direction. So maybe you can begin to look at your obstacles of maybe that divorce is an opportunity, a detour in the right direction, an opportunity to start to love yourself some more. Maybe that loss of that job is an opportunity to begin to do that thing you've been dreaming of. Maybe that diagnosis is an opportunity to get closer to God. Take that in. Let's reorganize your obstacles right now. What are the opportunities? What is the detour in the right direction? In what way can you begin to turn it upside down and see it as an opportunity to thrive and an opportunity to get more connected to the truth?
Rule number 4, be authentic.
Early in my career, I was always trying to be someone else. I tried to be the cool girl or the successful girl who had it all. But what I've learned is that to be truly confident, I didn't have to try so hard. I merely had to strip away those pretenses to release the blocks to the presence of who I truly am. When I became more me, I started living my purpose with confidence and taking action on my dreams. And that's the lesson. All the world wants from you is your authentic truth. When you truly get that, you'll feel the confidence to step into your purpose, own your power, and make an impact in your own unique way. Think about that today. Think right now about what makes you you. When do you feel the most authentic and genuine?
Rule number 5, give love.
I have a very important lesson that's something I've been applying in my own life. And a girlfriend of mine called me yesterday and she said that she was feeling really attacked and judged by someone at work. And my response was, don't defend yourself, don't fight back, don't judge back. Your work, I said to her, is to, the moment that you feel judged and attacked, do something immediately to make somebody else feel loved. So when you feel as though someone has attacked you, judged you, bullied you, done anything to make you feel inadequate or unlovable, do the opposite. Do the exact opposite. Go and do something to make other people feel good. So go make somebody feel lovable, adequate, and good enough. And that simple practice of just taking yourself out of the knee-jerk reaction to fight back or defend, but instead to go give love, that can change everything for you. When you feel judged, immediately go give love. Go do something kind, do something compassionate, do something loving. That will be the quickest way to stop the momentum of the negative energy. There are way too many haters out there. There's so much negativity. There's so much bullying and there's so much attack and judgment. And that's why I wrote an entire book about this topic. So my hope for you is that when you feel judged or attacked, instead of attacking back, you go give love. You do something to make somebody feel good. You do something that's based in compassion and love and joy. You make someone feel good about themselves.
Rule number 6, improve your productivity.
Many of us have issues with productivity. Maybe we are overly productive, but we're feeling burnt out all the time, or we're not productive at all because we don't know where to start. I found personally, being in business for myself for the last 20 years, that I have been a little overly productive. I almost did too much, and I was constantly multitasking and making things happen and just moving so fast that ultimately I really burnt out. And I started feeling brain fog. I was feeling disoriented. I couldn't focus. I was feeling like, even though I for so many years was priding myself on the fact that I could get so much done at one time, I actually don't think I was being nearly as productive as I could have been. So I hit a bottom recently with this productivity overload, and I realized that I had to change my patterns. I had to change my ways. I was then blessed. I said a prayer. I said, I need some help with my brain fog, and I need some help with my productivity issue. And I, that day, got an email from the Dr. Oz show asking me to come on and do a segment with this lovely author and Dr. Mike Dow. And me and Mike had been in touch for many years, just because he had been an author. We were published by the same publishers. And Mike had written a book about brain fog. So that day, I'm like, thank you, universe. You're giving me exactly what I need. I go on Dr. Oz with Mike, and I'm backstage with him, and I'm like, listen, I'm feeling so chaotic, and I'm multitasking so much, and I feel like I've got brain fog, and I'm forgetting things. And he looked at me and says, how much are you doing at one time? And I said, oh, Mike, I'm doing 1,000,000 things at once. I have 1,000 tabs up on my screen. And he's like, these are big brain no-nos. And they're also productivity no-nos, is what he said. Because he said that the more I try to do and the more I try to multitask, the less I'm actually getting done. So he gave me a tip that I want to share with you that has changed everything for me. And his suggestion was to just do 5 things a day.
to make a list of the 5 most important things that I need to do that day and not do number 2 until I've completed number 1. And then once I complete number 1, move on to number 2, then on to number 3. And if I don't get through all 5 in one day, I'll just pick up the 5th the next day, or wherever I left off, I'll pick up the next day. And to really stick to that list and not move back and forth and not try to make a million other things added onto that list, and just be really committed to that 5-task list. I did it. I started to just be very clear about the 5 things I was doing in a day. I told my team. I made a list in my base camp, which is where we keep all of our notes. And I made it really clear to myself, these are the only 5 things I'm doing throughout the day. As a result of making it super clear and conscious to myself that I was only going to do 5 things, I have been more productive. I have created more. I have been more intuitive. I have been more inspired, and I've been more creative.
Rule number 7, don't give energy to your fears.
Cheryl says, what is Gaby's biggest fear?
Good question. You know, I think that I don't even want to say them out loud.
Yeah.
How about that?
Cool. Absolutely fine with me.
Yeah, because I don't want to bring energy to it.
Yeah, sure.
You
I
know?
like that. Can you expand on that then?
Well, here's the deal. We all have fears. No matter how committed to love we are, no matter how deeply connected we are to our own spiritual practice and to God and to the universe, we will always have fear, you know, unless we somehow become enlightened, which is possible. But we will live with fear. And it's not that the fear goes away completely as a spiritual student. It's just that you don't believe in it anymore. So when you ask me to share my fears, it's like talking about something that it's like not true for me. So of course there's fear, and they pop up, and they're, you know, it's present, but it's not real for me. So it feels like I'm doing the world a disservice to say it out loud.
Rule number 8, make feeling good your priority.
As a teacher of the law of attraction, I believe that abundance begins by feeling abundant. When you take on the energy of what you want to create, your desire becomes your reality. Many people think they'll feel good once they have that money in the bank. But the truth is, they'll have that money only once they feel good. So make feeling good your number 1 priority.
Rule number 9, follow the fun.
I live up in the country most of the time, and I have a very good, a new friend. She just had a baby. She's up in the country, living in the country, and she kept her apartment in New York City because she's like, I'm a New Yorker, I just gotta keep my apartment, you know? So she's cutting checks every month, and she's not there. She said, my landlord's raising my rent, I don't know what to do. And I was like, okay, let me ask you a few questions. I said, how does it feel to think about writing those checks every month to something that you're not using? And she said, oh, that does not feel good. I said, how does it feel to think about getting that baby in the car, driving down to New York City, finding a parking spot on the street of 13th Street, walking up the 4 flights of stairs with the baby? And she said, oh, that sounds really overwhelming. I said, well, Laura, how does it sound to save that money, get cozy in that house you have up in the country, and then when you want to come to New York City, just get the fanciest apartment you could possibly get. Just get like $1,000 a night apartment, because it doesn't matter, because you're saving that. And she was like, that sounds really fun. Laura texted me yesterday that she did not re-sign the lease. So follow the fun, follow the fun, follow the fun. And this is the lesson here. We're always like, you know, where do I want to be? What do I want to get to? But we're never asking ourselves, how do I want to feel? And the moment that we start to ask ourselves, how do I want to feel? Then everything changes. Our point of attraction begins to shift.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is be the light.
So we've been talking a lot about ourselves. How do we deal with friends, loved ones who are going through the same challenges that we've been discussing? Fears, anxiety, nervous, not living their purpose, you know, all of that. What about if it's the people around us that are really struggling?
So be the light, right? So I think a lot of people want to change the people around them. They want to say, you know, read this book or watch this video or do this meditation, and that doesn't work. You have to. The only requirement for membership as a spiritual student is the desire, is the wanting. And so if somebody doesn't want that, then you're going to be, you know, a broken record. So be the light. Practice your own transformation. Get grounded in your own spiritual healing and live it. And in the expression of your light, you will reflect that onto others. And they will recognize their own light in yours. So you have a much more, a much higher likelihood of elevating somebody and healing somebody by just being the presence of that light, being that presence of that transformation.
Now, I've got a really special bonus clip on how to speed up by slowing down that I think you're going to really enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing question. It's time to move from just watching another video to actually taking action in your business and your life. And if you're feeling bold, leave your answers in the comments below. Here we go. Question number 1. What 3 things can you appreciate right now? Number 2. What perspective change do you need to adopt? And number 3. How are you going to make yourself feel good this week?
I think that lately I've been sort of accepting something that I've always heard over and over again, which is sort of, that you can speed up by slowing down, which is, sort of a old, age-old spiritual belief systems. Like, the more you tune in, the more happens around you. And I've always preached that and known that, but I'm really slowing down enough now to believe it and see it.
Yeah, amazing. Because I think it's so important that everyone hears inspirational statements, we hear insight, we hear wisdom, but it takes so much time for that gravity of that statement to almost sink into our hearts and our beings. And it's okay to know that it takes time.
I love that you say this, because it's a practice and it's a path and it's a commitment, and to your point, you can have this daily path, daily commitment, read spiritual books, practice meditation, watch people like yourself, and be part of this conversation in your own unique ways. And then there may be that moment in time where you wake up and you're like, there it is. I get that thing that everyone's been talking about. I get that mantra that I've been preaching, and it drops in.
So let me give you the one-word secret to happiness. One word. This is all you need to be happy.
It's the most important word ever. If you had to think of one word that's most important to you, or that sums you up, or that would be kind of like a little beacon.
If you like this video, check out the Volume 1 Top 10 Rules that I did on her. The link is right there next to me. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
You could say all the right things, but if you don't think it, if you don't transform and clean up your thinking, then you're literally polluting the planet.